Well, a few weeks back on Battleground, I was joined by Dr. Stephen Chavora to discuss whether Australians are becoming less religious. Our discussion was prompted by the release of data from the 2021 census that shows that Christians, or at least those who claim an affiliation to the Christian church, are now in a minority. Now, some people judge from that Christianity and perhaps religion in general are on the way out. Personally, I think that's a very rash conclusion, and I'm quite sure that my next guest will agree with me on that. Martyn Iles is a lawyer, commentator and the managing director of the Australian Christian Lobby, one of the largest political movements in the country. His mission is to promote truth through public debate in the public square, through people-powered campaigns, parliamentary lobbying and mainstream and alternative media. Martyn produces a very popular vlog called The Truth of It, and he's appeared frequently in the mainstream media, including on the ABC on Q&A, where he plays the role of Daniel in The Lion's Den. I've been impressed with Martyn's intellect and his gift for explaining complex issues in clear terms, but most of all for his courage in proclaiming the values and truths of the Christian gospel in a frequently hostile world. Martyn, welcome to your very first appearance on ADH TV, not your last, I'm sure. Make yourself right at home. I thought we might begin by reflecting or getting your thoughts on the death of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II and the accession to the throne of her son, Charles III. For many of us, I think we hoped this moment would never come, but within a week of learning of her death, here we are. I was at a solemn requiem mass last night for the first time in my life, singing God Save the King, and it was a very moving moment. Here's my take out. You can argue with me if you like, but I reckon in a constitutional monarchy like ours, the deal is that we get to choose the government, but choosing the sovereign is above our pay grade. In fact, it's not unreasonable to come to the conclusion that the sovereign's chosen by God. Your thoughts?
Well, I think I largely agree with you, Nick, and in fact, I possibly agree with you more now than I did a couple of weeks ago, because the death of the Queen has been bittersweet. I hope this day would never come because of my enormous respect for Her Majesty and the kind of person that she was. I think especially her life of duty is such a shining beacon to us all in an age where we are just all wanting our rights. We all want our due. We're all black holes of sucking in all that we can get. And it's a rights culture. It's a self culture. It's a me time and an all about me culture. And there's a woman who at the age of 21 pledged her solemn duty to her people, and she kept that promise all of her life. And I think she's this shining beacon to remind us of something we've forgotten in the West, which is duties are better than rights and sacrifice is better than self. And that's the meaningful life, and that's the life well lived. So I'm sorry to lose her. However, I suppose the way in which we have lost her and the way in which the monarchy in its typical unruffled, steady, stable way has simply soldiered on. Charles became king automatically. All things remain as they were. We've almost got this, again, a beacon of solidarity and steadfastness in an age of turmoil, in an age of politicking, in an age where people have lost faith in those that they've elected in power. And suddenly we realise, actually, here's something that's a bit different, that's above all of that, and maybe it's worth keeping.